Our pronouns are told you so. The Daily Mojo.
If you've not familiarized yourself with what is happening in Peru, if you've not heard about it lately, we haven't talked about it in a while. The whole thing started over the summer in, I think, June. And the story originally was that villagers in this little town in Peru were being attacked by, they said aliens. They said like 7-foot-tall aliens with yellow eyes, and they floated above the ground. They were able to move around without having to walk. They had some sort of anti-gravity, some hoverboard thing, and that they assaulted at least one girl, 15-year-old girl, and that there were other instances of encounters with whatever these beings were. The local and state police in Peru reportedly went in and did an investigation. I use air quotes for investigation. And the official response to what these remote villagers in Peru, and when I say remote, let's see here if I can show you exactly how remote. If you are watching again the live stream, or if you're watching the playback of the video portion, you will be able to see here is Peru, kind of this odd-shaped whole thing here, and the Iquitos are up in here. So it's close to the border of Colombia, and I mean it's pretty well in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Amazon. And so the official word, or the official reason, the official explanation for what these villagers were being attacked by was that they were illegal gold miners who were trying to scare the villagers away, trying to make sure the villagers didn't wander into the illegal gold mines and go, gotcha, and turn them in. That is the official explanation after a reported investigation. Now, it sounded, at the time, I will say, okay, that kind of made, hang on, I didn't finish that explanation, did I? They were illegal gold miners wearing jetpacks. There we go. That makes much more sense. They were illegal gold miners wearing jetpacks, scaring the local villagers, trying to keep them away from wandering into the illegal gold mines. That was the jetpacks is a big part of that. Never mind the fact that the villagers, were like, well, it didn't sound like a jetpack. A jetpack, if you haven't heard one, they're pretty loud. I mean, it's pretty cool tech, but they're pretty loud. It's like, oh. The villagers said that the beings, or whatever these beings were, didn't make any noise, that they had round discs on their feet, and that they could hover above the ground, foot or so above the ground, and only if they took off, went up, did you hear kind of something like a tss, and then that was it. And they also had larger, 3 or 4 foot diameter discs that a couple of them could ride at the same time. This information comes from, and I want to quote Audrey, because I sent Audrey the link to this thing, and she said, Timothy, and we're going to be talking Timothy Alberino, and you'll see him in just a second. Timothy reminds me of Fernando Lamas, Desi Arnaz, and Errol Flynn all rolled into one. It's like, yes, he does. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but yes. If you're watching the video, of course he does. Fernando Lamas, Desi Arnaz, and Errol Flynn all rolled into one. And when he talks, kind of the same thing.
Once I had the invitation from Jairo and the village elders and the funds to undertake the expedition, we set out for Peru on the 23rd of October. When we arrived in Iquitos, I chartered a riverboat that could accommodate my crew and the supplies we were bringing with us. Aside from myself and Doug, I was also accompanied by 2 Peruvian active-duty Navy operators and a few of the men from San Antonio, including the Apu. It took us 2 days to make our way to the village on the riverboat. The journey led us up the Nanay River and then its tributary, the Pintuyacu in Alto Nanay.
Are you starting to get the idea about how remote this place was? 2 days up the river to get to this place. And then you got to hear about the drink that they...
I drink a lot of it when I lived in the jungle.
Hang on, because this stuff that they drank is just... I think I hit it the right place. We'll see here.
To further discuss the details of the expedition and everything we learned in the village, I'm joined now by my comrade, Doug Thornton. Doug, I'm sure the question on everyone's mind right now is, what did you think of that masato?
The masato is the drink that they had to drink, which is nasty, to say the least. It's something that the local, it's some sort of the plant or something that the village women chew up in their mouth and then spit into a big vat. And then they mix it with river water, and it's a ceremonial drink. But it's fermented, and it's fermented because of the village women chewing it up in their mouth and spitting it out. It's like, ooh, it's nasty. Here's what Doug said about it.
It was terrible.
They gave me that bowl of masato, and I drained it like a champ. I actually like masato. I drink a lot of it when I lived in the jungle.
Sick bastard.
But then I turned around and I looked at you, assuming that you also received a bowl of masato. And what do I see? Your beard is covered in this stuff. It looks like you puked all over yourself.
Okay, that's enough of that. So anyway, they talked to the girl, the 15-year-old girl, who was accosted by these beings. And again, remember the official explanation that the beings that they were that attacked them were illegal gold miners wearing jetpacks, trying to scare the villagers away from the gold mines so that they wouldn't. Not that they were going to go to the gold mines anyway, but this girl, 15 years old, and they had a hard time getting her to talk. And here's just a little bit of what she said.
My height, I'm 6'1", reminded her of the assailants because they were very tall. So what happened to Talia? What happened to this young lady is that one night, one evening, she was picking fruit from her tree. And this was right after dusk, so it just got dark. She's picking fruit from the tree. She's knocking the fruit down with this long stick, and the fruit falls to the ground. Talia proceeds to bend over and pick up the fruit that fell to the ground, and there are under the tree there are some dead leaves, and suddenly she feels this gust of wind behind her, and the leaves she notices rustle as she goes to pick up the fruit. She feels this gust of wind, and the leaves are rustling a little bit on the ground. And so she looks behind her, and what does she see? She sees a person coming up the hill, because the backyard is kind of a little gully. It's forested. There's some jungle there between the other houses. So it's this little gully. We have it on film. And she sees this guy, this person, this thing coming up the hill almost as if he's surfing on one of these circular platforms. And he comes up the hill and he lands next to her and then immediately grabs her. He seizes her from behind and he places his hand over her mouth. So he's got her from behind and he's got his hand over her mouth so she can't scream. Then she sees another one of these guys coming on another platform up the hill and lands and positions himself in front of her and grabs her leg. So now she is being held by two of these pelacaras, face peelers, one behind her with a hand over the mouth and the other has her legs.
I should probably explain the whole face peeler thing, because that was the first time I'd heard of it too. And it was an X account The handle is @Peru_aliens.
Intense, right? I'm telling you. Hey, don't forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell and like and all that other stuff. It helps out. There'll be a part 2 of this, and it's probably over there in like the little column of stuff. I think it's over that way. But watch part 2 if you dare.
The First Amendment
Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
lives here. Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.